Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a guide to the Zul Reborn boss fight in Uldir on Normal and Heroic difficulty. This is my personal #1 favorite fight of the raid, featuring lots of things to multi-dot, fun stuff to mass dispel, and raiders being forced to jump to their deaths. Call of Blood summons adds, and you actually begin the fight with a few of them, so you get to start having fun right away. The Nazmani Crushers need to be tanked. Those do a frontal cone attack with Bloody Cleave, so all non-tanks should keep clear of their fronts. At full energy, they'll cast Thrumming Pulse, which is a huge buff to the boss and any adds within 30 yards. The Crushers must be either dead or 30 yards away from everything before that gets off, or else you're basically doomed. The Nazmani Bloodhexers cast Bloodshard, which does heavy damage to the lowest health player. You can kick that, and it's the only interrupt of the fight, so it really shouldn't be getting off. Just in case, it's probably good for healers to keep people out of one-shot range. A Bloodhexer will also summon an animated Ichor ad underneath her, which will attempt to get to the boss. If it makes it, the Ichor transfers whatever health it has left to Zul. Those lose health passively with dripping blood, so it's effective to slow them and knock them back in addition to killing them. Our last type of ad are the Bloodthirsty Krogs. These guys can be tanked with the boss, and should be, so they're taking cleave damage. They have a Hungering Maw, which heals them for 200% of the damage they deal, so it may be helpful to mark one at a time. At full energy, they self-destruct and explode with Engorged Burst, which does very heavy raid damage over 10 seconds. Kill them before that. Dark Revelation is a debuff that goes onto a player and explodes for damage after 10 seconds. The damage done drops off with distance, so anyone who gets the debuff should move as close to the edge as they can. After it pops, minions of Zul will spawn at the explosion spot. Those fixate, and if they touch players, they AoE fear them with Pit of Despair. Nobody wants that, so stay back. Now, they all have a magic buff that absorbs damage, and when the buff is gone, they die. That can be dispelled, so you can delete these adds in groups with Mass Dispel or Arcane Torrent if you have Blood Elves. Failing that, you can delete them one by one with offensive dispels such as Purge or Dispel Magic, and if you just have nothing, you can DPS through the shield at ranged. Mass Dispel is incredibly valuable here, and every priest is going to need a nice comfy keybind for it. The other thing going on in this phase is Shadow Barrage, which does damage to random players. That's unavoidable, so just heal through it. At 40% health, we transition into phase 2. The boss consumes the energy he's built up to this point with Locus of Corruption, and every 5 energy consumed puts a stack of the Corrupted Blood dot on the raid. Corrupted Blood is permanent for the rest of the fight, so the faster you get to phase 2, the less raid damage you'll have to deal with. In this phase, Zul casts Rupturing Blood, which puts the Rupturing Blood dot on anyone in a cone in front of him. That should only be the current tank. After 20 seconds, the dot expires, creating a very big pool of blood that stacks up your Corrupted Blood dot if you touch it. The tank with Rupturing Blood runs it to the edge while the other tank takes the boss. The other big mechanic of phase 2 is Death Wish, and it's a fun one. It's a debuff that goes onto one or more random players and forces them to walk towards the edge and jump off. It can be dispelled, but when it's taken off or when the player jumps, it does a burst of raid damage and spawns the Minion of Zul adds from phase 1. Because of that, you want to dispel those players when they're somewhat close to the edge so you don't spawn minions in the middle of everyone. Once again, folks with offensive dispels should clear up those adds before they get into the raid and start fearing people. That's it on normal, but there's a few big changes once you get into heroic. Pool of Darkness is new, and that will occur in both phases. They look like this: players will need to soak those to prevent raid damage, and soakers will need pretty heavy spot healing while they soak. On Heroic in phase 1, you'll get 2 Dark Revelations at a time, so twice as many minions of Zul. If your raid doesn't have 2 priests, then anyone with an offensive dispel needs to do work. And for the last Heroic upgrade, the Bloodhexer adds from phase 1 get Sanguine Presence. If 2 Bloodhexers come within 20 yards of each other, they heal all enemies, including the boss, for 10% every 2 seconds. If that happens, it's a good time for everyone to just jump off the edge and try again. Because you can't tank them on each other, and you can't tank them on the boss, and you probably only brought 2 tanks, your best bet is to CC one of them while you kill the other one. Paralysis, Polymorph, Freezing Trap, Repentance, Hex, all that good stuff. So that is Zul Reborn in Uldir. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you out, please consider helping me out with a thumbs up. Check out my channel for more raid guides and other WoW stuff, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!